All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to a rematch between the player with the best tools. Up here in the top left, it's the up-and-coming baller, System MaxPax. Roddy asked if you would lose, do you go... Down at the bottom right, this is MarineLorD. All right, guys, this is a rematch, which has, of course, got a bit of excitement behind it because MaxPax did recently defeat MarineLorD. MarineLorD made a controversial tweet after that DreamHack Masters match saying, I know I didn't play that well. Look, I could play better. I get super tilted playing against, playing here. It just doesn't feel like I'm playing against the better player. It feels like they have the better tools. A lot of pro players have been super outraged. MarineLorD needs to retire. How dare he, respect the opponent. Don't be a piece of shit. Terrible competitor. Other people have been saying, hey, Protoss does have the easier tools, or other people saying, look, he's just frustrated because he's struggling in the matchup and he was just kind of letting that out there. Personally, I don't give a shit, guys. I just want to see who wins. These guys are super competitors and there is a big rivalry here now. There is no way you can avoid that rivalry now at this point because MaxPax beats him in the biggest tournament of the season over there in Europe. And then MarineLorD goes and says, I don't even think he deserves to beat me, essentially, right? MaxPax has got to be a little annoyed at that. MarineLorD has also got to be a little annoyed that this guy beat him, who's only 16 years old, who is an up-and-coming player who's already just had such a quick rise to prominence, where that took a lot longer for MarineLorD to get to that same level. And that's got to sting a little bit when one of these upstarts comes out here with his cheesy proxy gate build and starts to make a name for himself so quickly and really is looking fantastic. I mean, we talked about how my best games wrap-up was kind of the Clem show for like a month straight, where it was just amazing Clem series, amazing Clem series, amazing Clem series. Recently, it's been a lot of amazing, messy, weird, strategically all over the shop MaxPax series because he's such a unique player and he's getting better at standard games, but he always blends it with his own twist on just about everything. Now, he's going to scout that MarineLorD's doing one of these one-base openings. Command center hidden on the high ground. You don't know that. So as far as you know as MaxPax, there could be a starport proxied on your side of the map. Let's see how safe he plays versus that. Tries to go in to see if there's a swap around. Doesn't get to spot it. Stalker going across the map. Adept coming out behind it. No tech structure. No second gateway yet. And indeed, there is a starport as well as the command center. So it is going to be a 4 Hellion drop attempt. Now, those Hellions cannot fight a Stalker. So this Stalker getting over here is really important. It'll scout this, and it could get some damage on the Hellions, which means the eventual defense will be a bit easier. Of course, you're going to have to recall the Adept and the Stalker if they do go across the other side. Twilight Council and another Adept on the way. Stalker does not run up the ramp. That's a bit of a missed opportunity, I think. I think he's waiting for the Hellions to run out into him. Maybe this is better? Okay, 2 Hellions and a Marine do, of course, beat a Stalker, but Stalker's kind of happy to take that trade as long as you're not losing probes. And kill some of these units, that would be huge. Doesn't go after him, funnily enough. I think he could have chased him if he wanted to. Could have stopped that from raising, or at least got the Marine trapped on the outside. Hellion's going to have to repair there, but how do they get out across the map now? MaxPax doing a great job of stopping him from joining up with that medevac. Ooh! Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, Adept, Stalker, having a good time. Hellion's going after that Adept. Ouch! Okay, the Adept goes down. Hasn't actually killed any of MarineLorD's units. I think MarineLorD's just going to chill for now. I think he's going to stop focusing on trying to get the probe kills and instead focus on the other thing. The Adept Shade will hunt him down. Adept goes down there, but so does the Stalker. So I think this is okay. The Adept, of course, causing problems. And the repair station, they do quickly swap out the tires on these F1 cars. Into the pit stop. Bam, bam, bam. 5 SCVs repairing at once. I mean, that's a big commitment, but it does put them back to full life, and they can quickly get back on the track and get on looking for that record time. Now, the probe does see the Hellion and the Marine over here, and that's kind of given away. I think, honestly, as MarineLorD, you've got to switch out of this being a big focus. Maybe do fake medevac, try to dive in with the Hellions, maybe focus on just stopping him from taking a third. You know your opponent's going to be pretty respectful at this point, and just be really well positioned defensively. So I don't think you want to throw these units away as MarineLorD. Definitely see if you can find the damage, but Hellion can outrun in Depth Shade. Should get out of range. Okay. Uh-oh. Big problem here for MaxPax. These Hellions causing problems. Already getting a few of these probes, but he's lost one Hellion. One more Hellion goes down, and then he's no longer one-shotting. He quickly picks up boosts, dodges a volley with that, and does get on out of there. So yeah, 4 probes, not bad. If he could deny this as well, oh, that's huge. Kill that probe. Kill that probe. Kill the probe. Behind this, bunkers on the way at home, 2 more barracks, tanks and marines are building. Your production obviously a bit gimped in this scenario, having gone for the very quick tech, very slow command center. Adept will clear out the 3rd base. MaxPax a little supply blocked right now as he adds a forward pylon. MarineLorD, though, realizing a Stalker counterattack is always a threat, does spot that pylon, and his Hellions keeping a bunch of Stalkers pinned at home. 1 tank, 2 bunkers. No bunkers on the... Oh, 3 bunkers even. Oh my gosh. So I think seeing the pylon, this may actually be an over-response from MarineLorD, but he just wants to make sure he does not die. Of course, it is already 4 gateways, isn't it? And known for his 4-gate blink pressure is MaxPax. MaxPax likes attack upgrades. He likes 4-gate blink. And he doesn't really have a lot of chill in this matchup. There are games where MaxPax gets scouted doing this, and then he takes forever to drop a 3rd. And we've seen him slip up when he's had advantages versus the likes of Cure by just attacking into tanks nonstop. And if you're going to do this, you do need to be very decisive at taking fights. You need to take out the siege tanks early, continue from there. And I do think if he just blinks on top, kills the tank, kills the Viking, he could do it. Problem is, that tank on the low ground does cover this area. You do not want to go into that area. He's thinking about going for it. He goes for the natural. Ooh, not a bad move. That Adept takes the first few tank shots, and then he's going to get the bunker. He's even limiting the repair surface area. He does get the bunker, but the Marines can get in the other one. Marines just rotate in the other bunker. Focus. No. You can't kill that bunker, I don't think. Can you? Oh, no. No. Bad move by MaxPax. Massive overcommitment. The tanks had got time to shuffle down. He should have focused the SCVs. He could have killed about 10 SCVs there. Now, as it is, that's a 3rd siege tank. So there's still 1 tank in the main. This is not wide open just yet. He's going to take a big tank shot there. Stalker goes down. 3 more. 1 hit from death. Another Stalker falls. Marines and SCVs coming in here. Medevac randomly flies over here. Another Stalker goes down. Every Stalker much more expensive than these Terran units, but the SCV damage is starting to stack up. Pulls out of the main at the same time. 3 Stalkers run into the natural and just causing a ruckus. MarineLorD, this is not a comfortable position to be in. Oh no, he once again blocks the repair and he saves some Stalkers with the Prism. Ooh, MaxPax out with a vengeance here. He's starting to float a little bit of money. Does need to back off and drop some macro. Nexus Forge, Robo Bay could all go down. Obviously, he senses that he's got an opening and he wants to focus on it. MaxPax has to jump home. Robo Bay Forge, 3rd Nexus. You got money for all of them, mate. I guess after the Stalker Warp, and he's just shy of enough for that Nexus, which means he's even more committed here. He goes, gets another tank snipe. That's worth it. Stalkers in the natural are going to get cornered. These guys posturing up here. Those Stalkers do get cornered. Only taking out 1 more Marine before they go, and this is what I talked about. MaxPax finds damage, but he's so slow to transition. I think it was a good trade overall, don't get me wrong. But there's a 3rd CC on the way. Where is the 3rd Nexus? And this is what MaxPax almost always just delays a massive amount of time. He still has not started that 3rd. Finally, it's going to go down. I don't know, man. Let's look at the units lost. He's lost 16 Stalkers. It's a lot of very expensive units. There's still a tank, some Marines here, more Marines coming out. +1 armor on the way as well as Stim about to kick in. Oh, no, pull back, MarineLorD. You can't afford to lose these Marines. You need those to protect the tank, buddy. Gets a SCV putting the command center. SCVs in the natural as well. Great play here. Stim Marines and the tank shot. They punish. They do get 1 Stalker. Chase the rest off as well. 3rd command center. Needs to get another SCV on that. MarineLorD there has not put back on Gasser on that CC. It's all chaos for MarineLorD. As I said, one of the most uncomfortable scenarios. I thought 3 bunkers might be overkill, guys. It was underkill, apparently, because MaxPax, like I said, he is a dogged committer here. He's, you know, inspired by parting, I think, in some ways. Just says, I want kill now. Me want make smush your face into brick. It's not just me, right? You get a little bit of a sense of the demented when you see a very aggressive Protoss player, right? You kind of feel like this guy really would get a sick pleasure out of slamming someone's face into a brick wall, you know. Does scan and take out that observer. So that's pretty good. I mean, MarineLorD, he's not dead. He's got a 13 SCV deficit, but he's got a 3rd orbital on the way. His upgrades are rounding out. But yeah, I mean, there's a 4 charge lot drop. I think it's the freedom of map control that MaxPax can use here. He's just, I mean, he's got so many Stalkers out front as well. You can't really push into that many Stalkers very easily. Scan sees the 3rd, sees the gases. So this is where MarineLorD has to make a decision. Let's go to MarineLorD's vision as he deals with this pressure. Oh, he's going to lose a tank in the main. Ooh, he saves it. Oh my god, well done. Unsieges it, picks up. He's trying to pull his SCVs back, trying to stim into the main. But 4 SCVs there, and once again just having a scramble just to keep his units alive. Attack on the front as well. Oh no! Oh, he does have 2 tanks there. Still siege, so it's okay. Prism going for those tanks on his third. Wait, guys. The Prism flying in and getting itself killed, I think. The Viking's going to take that down. Sloppy move. I've talked a lot about how MaxPax's #1 skill in this matchup is to do amazing things with his Blink Stalker harassment, his Warp Prism, and then he inevitably always flies his Warp Prism to its death. There's always a point around this point in the game where things have settled down, where I would love to see MaxPax just make a mental note, pull the Prism back, and just fucking chill with it until the Terran actually moves out with his army. But he so consistently throws that Prism away unnecessarily. It's a really weird habit that he's developed, and he's got to get rid of that. Honestly, him losing that Prism, it gives up his map control and his ability to counter pressure. This is a big problem for MaxPax. He's got to fix that. It's happened in his last series versus MarineLorD, in all of his series versus Cure. He's throwing away his Warp Prism. You got to treat your Warp Prism with the love, care, and respect that it deserves. Protoss says no to violence against Warp Prisms. Terran MarineLorD is posturing, but he's just trying to threaten. He wants to see if he can get a siege up there. He's got to be careful. I think he has enough to deal with the Zealots. He's only down a few SCVs. He's going 2nd Engineering Bay Armory, and he's actually focusing on Tank Terran. Tank Terran should not be taking bad fights. Oh, bad fight. This is not an army he should really have been pushing with, I don't think. If MaxPax had 1 Zealot Warp in there, he could have rolled that whole army, killed every single tank. Even now, if he had an Observer spotting, he could have blinked on that and killed it. I think MarineLorD's getting away with murder. Having that push that far out of the map, it had already been spotted twice. To then just push it into the natural was a big mistake from MarineLorD. He's lucky to get out of there and keep the tanks alive. When you're playing non-stop tank production, you need to grow your tank count. Anytime you lose your tanks, you're in trouble. It's part of why if you want to do a pressure, you often leave the tanks at home. You just send your bio medevac so you can quickly load up, evacuate when needed. He also doesn't have any walls to keep the Zealots back, which is a big problem. Tank styles, if you don't have walls and you're worried about dying, you want to leave the tanks on the high ground mostly, with just 1 or 2 tanks on the low ground. As it is, a big wave of Archons reinforcing this would have allowed him to push in and win the game. I actually think if MaxPax had a Prism and wasn't investing in like DT, Blink, and a 4th base, he honestly could just make 3 Archons, 4 Archons with his gas bank, a few more Zealots, and he could have A-moved MarineLorD, because tanks are very bad versus Zealot Archon. So MarineLorD here is in a very risky scenario, and this is a problem. Most Terrans go, tanks are very good defensively. As long as I'm sieged, I can't die. And that is completely the wrong call. TY has learnt this the hard way 100 times over, to the Traps, the Zests, the SOSs of this world, who always kill their opponents. They always kill their opponents with that huge old either Storm Drop or Zealot Archon Colossus push. It comes in a big way. A big shout out to Just Disappointed with the 10,000 bit cheer. Oh my god. I haven't played since Wings of Liberty, but Zerg is OP and can only be beaten by Twitch chat balanced winers. Thank you so much, you psychopath. And once again, thank you for promoting balanced wine, which is absolutely encouraged in our chat, only if you give me 10,000 biddies though, at which point you can break all the rules, because that's how we run our channel. It's not about ethics, it's about money and corruption. But no, seriously, thank you for the love. Thank you very much, mate. And apologies, YouTube, for the interaction if this does end up going on YouTube, which I think it will. I mean, I just love seeing this rivalry. It's kind of settled down now. Both sides are just chilling. The alert didn't come through yet. I'm still waiting for it. I'm like, where is that alert sound? If it doesn't come through, I'll play it in between the games, guys, because there should be a giant fart, like destroying... I was going to say destroying our eardrums even more than those Dark Templar destroyed those guys. The DT Blink. Ow, 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 ow. Ow, 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 ow. Ow, 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 ow. Okay, so at this point, when your opponent goes into DT Blink Disruptor, if you're playing a long game, which it appears that MarineLorD is, ideally you want to get range libs. But even before that, you need to over-prepare for those DTs. Oh, a great double ball. 2 balls, teabags 2 of those siege tanks. And look out, his tanks are very exposed. He's way outnumbered right now. MaxPax just has the scarier army. I think MaxPax can pounce, and he's going to do it. The DTs, that is 16 DTs blinking on the siege tanks and annihilating them. He disruptor shots into his own Zealot DT and barely dodges it. He's got no anti-air. He's going to lose all of his Colossus. MaxPax with a great push, but then no Stalkers and no Warp Prism to reinforce. He's got 1 Stalker. Leave Daddy Colossus alone. Stop, Mr. Mean Viking. Stop. What the fuck is this battle? I still think he can just win the game with the Zealot DT maybe though, right? I mean, he's afraid of getting EMP'd and kited. Once you've used the blink, right, you can get kited quite badly there. But he's got a 5th base up behind this. Kicks MarineLorD off the 4th. I was going to say MarineLorD needs to start making sure he walls things off. So if you're up against blink DTs, you want a fully surrounded bunker is the trick, or with a single space gap, which he's mostly surrounded it, but not completely. All these disruptors doing pretty well to chip away, but he's taking some big tank shots as well. And MaxPax, still no Warp Prism, really needs to fix his business. He's macroing really hard, he's way ahead. There's no reason for him to have his expensive Stalkers and Disruptors out here. MaxPax has, I think, a pretty big advantage in that regard. The DTs go in, they got the Siege Tank, and a few of them do die. Oh my god, he's still trying to kill him, MaxPax, with no chill. He's got to get a pylon up here or something, mate. He's floating way too much money. MaxPax, I get he senses he's got an opening, but he's just got way too much money that he's not spending. He's only on 9 gateways. Yeah, he's building 3 more gateways now. Okay, so guys, if you're up against someone who you know has blink DTs, you want to build also a depot there or something. That's why I don't like this bunker positioning, because there's too much space on the inside of it where you need to have it open for your mining. Disruptor shots, Stalkers focusing down Vikings, good posturing. I like the way MaxPax is controlling space. Just keep in mind, everybody, he is doing this in the dirtiest of ways. He's not meant to be able to control this space right now. He has absolutely no business being out here with such a small army. This is a greedy Protoss player, and oh, it pays off! MarineLorD eats a giant ball to the face. Oh, and that's going to be GG, I think. MaxPax, I mean, if he got surrounded, if some Marine Marauder hit him from the north, I think he could have died there. But that was a beautiful maneuver. That is a very beautiful maneuver. Really well done. Stalker Zealots coming in. Still got to be careful with this army, and I'm surprised he hasn't swapped back into Colossus. He's building Immortals now. +3 attack stun, +1 armor is about to finish. 12 Zealots coming in at a time. So yeah, MaxPax definitely is a very good aggressive player. Like all aggressive PvT players, I do sometimes feel like he should just back off and chill and go to the next step, but so far these trades are good. I gotta stop doubting it. As long as these trades are paying off, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And that is, honestly, you should always follow that in StarCraft. If your opponent hasn't yet countered your thing, you don't need to be like, oh, but what if he counters it perfectly? Let your opponent show that they know how. If it's going well, let your opponent show they know how to deal with it, or they have the material to deal with it before you go to the next step. Maybe you can prepare for it a little bit, but right now, these trades are going quite decently for MaxPax. He's got way more bases and economy. He's got a forward position. I would like to see a Prism sliding into the back. I feel like one big Zealot or DT warping in the main could win this game. Oh, another Disruptor shot. He just doesn't have the critical mass of bio to do it. The DT's coming from behind. Get on top of that bio, and MarineLorD, of course, is cruising for a bruising in this game. DTs go for it. The planetary finally goes down, and MarineLorD taps out. GG, well played. MaxPax takes game 1. All right. Let's go, guys. It is time for game number 2. MaxPax is spawning in the top right of Beckett and sending one of his very first probes across the map for a good old-fashioned MaxPax. His opponent at the bottom left, down 1 game, a rough game 1. This is MarineLorD. It's interesting how that game opened up, because I felt like the Hellions did some okay damage, but good Stalker positioning from MarineLorD to defend it. From MaxPax, sorry, to defend it. So with this build order, for those who don't know it, MaxPax will be building his first gateway on the front of the map, then Gas, then Cybercore, then Nexus. Now, we've seen Cure, I think it was the last person I see fall into the worst possible reaction to this, where he scouted on 18 supply, saw the Nexus go down at what looks like a normal Cybercore Nexus timing, and then just sent his SCV home, built his command center on the low ground, 2 Zealots walked in, a Stalker right behind it. He had to cancel his command center at like 60% complete, rebuild it on the high ground. Absolute disaster. Probe comes in for a bit of harass. Lundrill, thank you for 300 biddies, says I found some bits. Thank you so much, mate. So some nice harassment here from MaxPax. Notice he's just going to disengage till his shields regenerate. So he doesn't want to take a drill. He takes that drill too early. Bit too much of a tight turning circle there for MaxPax. And that does cost him. Gets him deep in the red. Now, MarineLorD's not scouting at all, and he's going Reaper first. Now, Reaper's really good on this map because it gets across so quickly. You can kill some probes. MaxPax building a Zealot. Where's his Cybercore? That is a little bit of a delay on that Cybercore, buddy. And when I say a little bit, I mean unnecessary. That was about 10 seconds. I'm pretty sure that may have been even longer than that. Little dicey. That delays his Stalker. It also delays his shield battery potentially going down here as well. These are potential problems. Big thank you, King, Slorch, Lundrill. I'm going to give you guys a huge wave of support and thank yous after. For now, this is actually going to be a Reaper into 3 racks build. Interestingly, he pulls an SCV down, so it's second barracks, bunker, then third barracks. And only now does he see that zealot and immediately cancels the command center. It's not a good position to be in. He's going to be building the command center, and then he needs to get a bunker before the Stalker gets here. That Stalker's already on the way. Reaper's there, though, and there's no shield battery. Oh, we're about to enter a micro multitasking war. Can MarineLorD keep his Reaper alive? The Zealot's there trying to take down the depot. The depot's getting very low. I believe one SCV repairing is not enough. Reaper being microed well, but 2 more SCVs come to repair. So we can keep the depot hit points being tracked there. Sorry, guys. Oh, Reaper wants that kill. Okay, so the depot is back to full life. It's fine. Reaper has got 2 kills, a lot of mining time. Now, some players like to recall the Stalker, but as it is... Wait, he didn't build a bunker? Guys, he didn't build a bunker at home. Oh, no bunker, which means that Stalker could fight these Marines, but he's focus fired the Stalker for now. Of course, the Stalker can use the Zealots to spot and go back and forth. Where's the Reaper? It's pulled back. He's F2'd the Reaper back. I think the Reaper should... That's a wise call, actually, because there's a shield battery up, but look at this. The Stalker's killed 2 Marines. Okay, yeah, it's killed 1 Marine, sorry. There's 2 more out. Oh my god, repairing at the last second. MarineLorD needs to keep this wall up. A Reaper grenade could be really nice. He's just got to be careful not to bounce the Zealot across the wall. I think that's... Ah, no! No! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god. Oh, okay, that's... Yeah. I have not seen this game, guys. This was not me. I did not know that happened. I promise. This has been my week of... I've actually made so many insane caster calls this week where I call something before it happens. It's weird. As a commentator, we're used to caster curses where anything you say, the opposite happens. But this week, it's been weird. I feel like I'm a bit of a warlock. I've got a bit of a crystal ball. He does end up holding on. At the end of that trade, 6 SCVs, 3 Marines for 2 Zealots, and 3 Probes. I think usually this is a pretty good trade for the Protoss, but Concussive coming in very early. And that tag with the Marauder, yeah, and get the red hit point one. And he's going to trade out okay. Now, obviously, 2 Marines does lose to a Stalker. He could have tried to stutter step on it to get more damage, but this is awkward. Third barracks is finally up. Needs to get a tech lab on that. Stim is starting. Stuck on 1 base. 22 SCVs, 30 probes up for the Protoss. Now, like I said, this isn't normally good for the Protoss because they just get that mineral line up a bit quicker. You can see the income is already looking really good for the Protoss. Oh, wait, mules. There's 3 mules right now, so the income doesn't show us anything in the short term. Let's look at the graph. MarineLorD was a bit ahead. MaxPax has been a bit ahead. MarineLorD's ahead right now, but I think when we check on it 2-3 minutes from now, we'll check it about 6-7 minutes. It should mostly be a MaxPax lead. We'll see exactly how it goes. That Adept is going to tank a little bit, but it will go down. He's still trying to warp in Stalkers on the front. This is very dicey for MaxPax. If he gets rid of the Marauder, then suddenly he can micro his heart out. So that's what's really cool there. But the moment another Marauder comes, he's trapped. And this Stalker's got nowhere to room. Nowhere to run, nowhere to room, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. That being said, to hunt him down, those Marines do sacrifice themselves. Or do they? Oh, this is actually getting, I think, good for MarineLorD. I honestly don't fucking know how to read these trades. It's like a Stalker goes down, and then the 3 Marines go down, a Marauder goes down, but then another Stalker goes down. He does get rid of the proxy gate, and that does halve the production of MaxPax. MaxPax adding 2 more gateways to get back up to 3 gates, and he's already got a DT shrine. Engineering bay is on the way, and that's very wise, because in this scenario, you're very blind. If I was MarineLorD, I would absolutely prioritize a Marine or an SCV going out around the map and trying to check, is there a third base? Because he's so low on information, he's going to try and just get that information with a bit of a stim concussive push. And I guess that does the same job. 7 Marines, 4 Marauders, concussive shell, stim. Unfortunately for him, DTs will be warping in on the front in a moment. Does he already have 1? He's already got 1 running across the map. Turret, though, is going to finish, and he's going to have some Marines ready to greet it. 4 Marines should be able to kill that as long as he raises his wall. And at home, 1 Stalker and a shield battery. MaxPax, if he doesn't get a defensive DT, and he's just going to lose everything way quicker. So I think this is a win for MarineLorD. Clicks this shield battery. Clicks the Stalkers, and then he can kill everything else. A quick recall on a DT to try and defend. You gotta run your probes away, MaxPax. And no. Don't fight. No, MaxPax. Mate. I mean, it was a bad situation, but fighting with the probes is an absolute no-no. Whenever you get caught by stim and you're not ready, if you have, say, DT is playing, the main thing is you disengage and you just pull back. And you run away. Then when stim wears off, you engage and they stim and you disengage. So a little bit of a silly engage from MaxPax. It was a disastrous situation anyway. It turned out those trades were indeed good enough for MarineLorD, and MaxPax trying to go to DTs afterwards, a bit too slow in his production, was not enough. So he loses 28 probes. That's going to be game over, and MaxPax probably going to tap in a moment when he kind of takes stock of what's going on and is like, well, you have 2 bases full. I've got nothing. You've got 3 barracks pumping. SCV, this is that SCV scout I was talking about. He's just going to do that as a follow-up to see, hey, are you taking a third? Are you all-inning? Like, what's your play here? Are you trying to probe back up? 1 Archon, 1 Stalker, and a very sad Danish Protoss is all we're looking at right now. Ooh! Oh my god. It goes after that Marine. The Marine survives on 3 hit points. SCV runs in, sees a Stalker, sees an Archon. Yeah, I mean, apparently we're staying in this game for another minute. MaxPax fighting it out, but it's over. Pig! It's okay. Let's talk about the game. So, I think the MaxPax build went pretty good, but I do think the continued warp-ins was a little bit too much. I think he committed to concussive, did MarineLorD, he committed to the non-stop barracks production. I think MaxPax should have probably just backed out of it a little bit earlier. Started trading Stalkers a little bit messily, and I mean, just look at the unit slow stuff. Obviously, this includes the 28 probes, but yeah, a little bit of an issue. Let's look at the worker graph. Looks like MaxPax did have a big lead for most of that period that I said I would check for. Look at that, just stim for the win. Man with gun, make stutter step, kill Protoss. Hi-oh. And I mean, honestly, are there better tools than an assault rifle, Kevlar body armor, and your combat shield? Are there better weapons than your night vision goggles? No. These are the best tools. None of these stupid ass fucking pussy robots. Oh, look at me, I carry minerals. I'm a fucking robot. I don't even have a drill. Stalkers just, it's all coward shit for Protoss. Meanwhile, Terran and Manly, they have guns. Let's actually zoom in. Okay, so you can't see the bayonets, but I'm pretty sure if any of these Marines get in melee, then you can see bayonets, right? Actually, maybe that's just one of the skins, because MarineLorD's using normie, what we call cuck skins. But if he uses, like, I think it's the Junker skin, there's a big bayonet on the, and maybe the Merc ones as well. They actually have big bayonets on their Gauss rifles, which is pretty cool. MarineLorD is going to come forward here. I mean, hats off to MaxPax. He's trying to get a disruptor out. 1 big ball, 1 small ball for man. 1 giant leap for Protoss kind. No, that's not going to happen. MarineLorD does take map number 2, ties up the series. Very good defense despite having no scouting. That's a really good crisis management from MarineLorD. All right, straight into map 3. We're going on to Oxide. The bottom left, it's MaxPax. His opponent skipping the scout last game. I would expect to get Proxy Void Raid if I was him this game. Oh, maybe not this game. Maybe the next one, actually. But I would definitely have it on my mind. This is MarineLorD. Is the hat a molding situation? The content supersedes it? It's not molding, it's just balding. I'm not mad, I'm very happy. And yes, I shaved my head and my hair looks like, it looks just really stupid, you guys want to see it? It just looks really dumb. It needs to grow, man.
Is the hat a molding situation? The content supersedes it.
I was like, why wear a hat inside? I'm like, it just looks really dumb while it's growing out, guys. The funny thing is, it actually doesn't look as bad, not on stream, but there's something about having bright lights and a shitty webcam in front of you that makes it look even more stupid. Yeah. You're 32 and getting gray? Oh, I got a whole lot of white hairs. I skip gray. I'm actually really happy to be skipping gray and going straight white, everybody. I'm really down with it. White hair is super cool. I have a little patch of like white hair on my chest here. I have a few like random ones. And if I let my beard grow, it's like semi-white. It's just I have a really scraggly, shitty, patchy beard, so you guys wouldn't even see it. White hair and balding at 32, man. Life hits hard, dude. Apparently sitting indoors playing video games all day might not be the best life choices. Who fucking knew? Honestly, I feel like $100, so I'm all good, guys. Anyway, let's focus on the game. There was an SCV scout a little bit earlier this game, so a bit safer of an opening from MarineLorD. He's gone Marine, and he's delaying the reactor to get the factory. Now, remember, this is the build order where if they actually chrono adepts across the map, they can punish you pretty hard. But remember, he's gone Nexus before Cybercore, so it's okay. But we were actually just looking at a Dream SOS game earlier today, and basically it was not that, and SOS went Zealot into Stalker pressure, And he had 1 Marine. So even with the bunker, the Zealot and the Stalker caused quite a bit of a ruckus. Fortunately for Dream in that scenario, SOS mismacroed behind it a bit. So he still ended up in not the greatest position. But you'll notice basically the barracks just sits idle after that first Marine for about 20 seconds. So you're basically missing half of a reactor or that sort of thing. And that makes a big difference. Makes a really big difference. So you have to get a bunker with this build order, of course, because you are so wide open. But look how quickly you can get Hellions or Widow Mines building, guys. That's crazy. For a barracks gas build, double Hellions building before 250. To put that in context, normally it's about 250, 255. So about the same time, maybe a few seconds slower for a gas first expand. But with that build, you're even more kind of bare on the opening. You're a little slower on your command center and so on. And if you do barracks gas, normally it's about 20, 30 seconds later with the fastest possible swap. If you go like Reaper Marine Reactor or anything like that, right? So just a cool adjustment. Skipping the Reaper, it speeds up the factory. You can get really early tech out here. And I wonder if he actually keeps up the production. He's already swapping into Widow Mine, so we might see the Hellion Widow Mine bust with 6 units. And the way this works is basically you hit the natural. You run in with 3 Hellions and you drop a Widow Mine ahead of it. You boost the medevac head, drop 1 Widow Mine here just to blow up the unit in the wall. And then you drop the other 2 Widow Mines in the mineral line while the Hellions drive in. And they either drive into the main or the natural. And you basically just do a Hellion Widow Mine bust where you use the first Widow Mine to open the wall. It's a very cool kind of way of just busting through. There is a probe here which is going to see the Hellion, or at least one of them. Does he know what's happening? He's got another probe out here. So he's using these probes for spotting. Back at home, only 2 Stalkers and, okay, 3 Stalkers, 1 Adept. Now, if MaxPax full walls, it makes his life way easier because then he has to ferry the Hellions in. But here we go. The Widow Mine's going to try and bust that wall. There we go. So he drops 1 there. The other one's going to try and push these Stalkers back. But he's already taken a lot of damage on these Hellions. Oh, the Widow Mines. Oh, no. Oh, that was not a good trade for MarineLorD. He gets the Adept, but one of his Widow Mine splash damage even kills his own Hellion. It doesn't show up in the units lost because he actually killed his own Hellion, guys. So you'll see it only shows 2 units there, but 3 units lost because he killed his own Hellion. It doesn't show up in the units lost tab. Friendly fire kills don't show up in there. But very good defense by MaxPax. And I think maybe MarineLorD should have just dropped 1 Widow Mine there just to force it back. But just good positioning by MaxPax. Having the probes out there to see what was coming and where it was coming from made his life much easier. Now, I think MarineLorD might try and just put a Widow Mine blocking each base. Or actually, he's going to try and walk in there. Meanwhile, Stalker Rob's looking for the blink in. Uh-oh. Oh, this might just be game. The Stalkers clean up the Widow Mines there. Uh-oh. Dude, these 6 Stalkers, there's nothing to answer them. Okay, the tank's out, Siege! Siege, siege, siege! 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 Oh. Bit of an F2 from MarineLorD. We call that the pig. The pig maneuver there. Often you're F2ing at this point because your units are just popping out. You need everything you can to defend the Stalkers. Tank does siege there. Good pullback, doesn't take the tank shot. He's got a Viking, so that's interesting. A Viking just going to help him get rid of the Observer. A cute little adjustment there from MarineLorD. Come on. Yeah. But MaxPax spots it. And oh my god, that's a lot of Stalkers. 15! And no SCVs ready to repair. Uh oh, pull the Marines back, pull the Marines back. He's got to pull back to the tank, but now he loses the depots. He's lost ramp control. Uh-oh, losing ramp control is really bad here for MarineLorD because now he's in supply block town. That tank goes too far down. Tries to drop an auto turret to punish. He does get a few big tank shots off. A lot of Stalkers fall for that. But his tank wasn't producing in the meantime. He had a gap in his tank production, partially due to supply block. He's frantically building depots and barracks in the back of his base, being forced into this situation. 4 Stalkers in the main at the same time. Oh no! Okay, I think MaxPax has just got him, and he does just GG and leaves the game. MaxPax with a 2-1 lead. Whew. All right, 2-1 advantage. Time to finish it up. Let me guess, guys. We're rubbing my crystal ball. We're massaging my brain. He's going to play 4-Gate Blink. It's MaxPax, representing Psystorm Gaming and doing it damned well. His opponent in the top left, of course, representing Coca's Authentic Papites. This is MarineLorD, which is a very professional team. Now, MarineLorD might go 5-Rex before 3rd CC this game. We'll see how it goes. I really feel, so one of the things is if your opponent has a tendency of playing 4-gate blink. What you'll notice in these games, guys, is two things. There is no Stargate openings from MaxPax, number one. Number two, MaxPax has not gone for a super early sentry for hallucination. Now, if the Protoss player doesn't do either of those, they do not have early scouting to verify what your opening is. So if you open with a standard opening, you can trick the opponent. You can do all sorts of fancy things. What do I mean by that? So right now, you've got MaxPax playing 4-gate blink most games. What about Perpetual Torment? Sorry, guys. Our soundtracks just skipped to the Doom soundtrack. It's a little bit intense. Calm down, buddy. Oh, my God. Step into a world of perpetual torment. I'm like, okay, all right. But maybe not the Doom soundtrack while we're casting. I sometimes do like to listen to that soundtrack if I feel like playing StarCraft with way too much adrenaline. Then yes. But anyways, I was making a point. Big thank you, Adalov, for the 500 biddies. The point I was making, everybody, was you can go 3cc. If MaxPax is playing this style, you can actually play something like, and I've been talking about this for a long time, and someone did it recently, where you get just one Liberator and you just hide it outside of Observer Vision. I think up here's the best because they normally have Observer down here. You wait for the Stalkers to pressure you, and then you fly your Liberator and just siege it on their natural. And if you catch them when they've used a warp in, they either have to recall or they lose a shitload of mining. And behind it, all you do is you just non-stop tank produce and build a 3rd CC. I do it really greedy. I like the 3rd CC at like 330 or something like that. But you can actually just go straight. You can go for like 430. It's still fine as long as you get the 3rd CC before the extra barracks, and that counters 4-gate blink because you have a really good tank count. You get a bunker in the low ground, bunker in the high ground. You just camp. Now, I've actually seen one player, I can't remember if it was Marine, it might have been MarineLorD actually who did it, who on Romanticide, they did a different version of this where they took away the Starport and the Liberator and they said, why even bother doing the Liberator? They've got Stalkers, they've got 4 gates. That's a bit of a gamble. Just do no pressure. Just go straight, Barracks, Factory, 3rd CC, 2nd and 3rd Barracks, then Starport. At the same time as you're dropping your eBays and dropping the gases on your natural. Because you say, look, I don't need Metavacs to defend Stalker, Blink Stalker 4-gate. I just need Marines and tanks. I get my quicker 3rd CC. I can save on gas a bit earlier, then add more gas later. So that's a really cool adjustment. And in this current meta, where there's a lot of Protoss players who are going 4-gate blink most games, I think it is something that's being missed out on. Because look at this from MaxPax's point of view, and this is what Terran players always need to revisit. If you guys struggle in PvT and you're a high-level player, say Masters 1 or above, go back and look at your games and go, what does the Protoss actually see? And a lot of the time, they don't know what you're doing. In this game, excuse me, free information. MarineLorD built his factory and his starport right next to the wall, so he's giving free information to his opponent. Why not build them further back where the adept can't see it? MaxPax has consistently not invested in scouting, and yet MarineLorD is consistently giving him free scouting information. This means MaxPax doesn't need to worry about a 3-racks. It means there is nothing left to the imagination. I mean, I'm sure there's a Sun Tzu quote someone could bring up right now about don't tell your opponent what you're doing, right? It's information denial needs to be more at the center of what he's doing. And if your opponent's going 4-gate, why are we trying to Widowmine drop? If he keeps it in the dead space, it's not the worst thing. But the thing is, against a player who has not shown you a single 2-gate third base, not once in this series, and he hasn't done it a lot in the last few weeks, and I've cast a lot of MaxPax DVP, why are you trying to harass a player who's camping on 2-base? It makes no sense on a fundamental level. This is the sort of thing that Artosis rants about many times and has over the years of StarCraft's history. There's a point where people just do things because that is what you do in the matchup. And don't get me wrong, I like solid game plans as well. I fall into the same trap we all do. But I look at this on a strategic level, and I see Zest do it, I see a lot of the Chinese and Asian Protoss players do it. If the opponent just goes 4-gate blink, every game, no matter what you're doing, there's got to be a way you could adapt to take advantage of it. And I don't think this is it. I really don't think this is it. I think that you can play this out well. You could win from here. I just think if your opponent is foreshadowing what they're doing and becoming obvious, they're doing it the same every game, why not have a third command center? Make this defense with faster siege tanks rather than wasting that time building 3 Widow Mines, which didn't do anything. Oh, anyway, tank goes down. I'll stop ranting. How many Stalkers? 3 Stalkers for a tank and an SCV. It's not the worst trade for MarineLorD, but he needs to be very quick to repair. Remember that he could warp in another 4 Stalkers and he could do the body block where he blinks onto the bunker and stops you repairing. So you got to be real careful right now as MarineLorD. That's a very conservative tank. It only reaches to there, but it kind of covers the high ground a little bit as well, but he's only got 1 tank. Man, if MaxPax went all in on the high ground right now, just non-stop Stalkers up there, I do think MarineLorD would have a really hard time covering. He's only got 1 tank. He does have SCVs pulled in the natural ready to repair that bunker. And oh, this is a great harassment move from MaxPax. Remember though, MaxPax, no third base. He's still pretty focused on the aggression right now. 4 Stalkers coming in here. He's going to try and pick off these Marines. More Stalkers warping it in the back. The Stalkers went in on the natural, but they didn't find the damage. Oh, interference matrix on the Prism. But I think he'll be okay because he just gets out of warp-in mode in time. That's what I mean. No tank up here. Oh, the SC, a bad Stalker micro from MaxPax. A little bit of a slip up there, but he can unload and warp in again. There's nothing pushing him out of this base right now. Finally, as the tank arrives, it is time for MaxPax to leave, who... By the way, shout out to MarineLorD. He's blocked the 3rd with a Widowmine behind us. The Stalkers blink up here. That tank goes down. The other tank is in a very safe position. You can't break that, but he can abuse this. That Widowmine killed the probe that was trying to take the 3rd. Once again, this keeps MaxPax locked on 2 base a lot longer than he'd like to be. And even though he does get a lot of damage, the returns often diminish. Remember, we've seen MaxPax lose from this position, even when it looks like he's about to win. If suddenly these Stalkers crumble, things can fall apart. He's got to get that Viking. Oh, okay. Yep. He loses quite a lot of Stalkers there. Another 10 SCVs, a lot of mining time. 17 Stalkers. He's taking a 3rd. He's having to take it on the front base. Not there. Probes did kill that Widowmine by the looks of it. Yes, they did. The probe actually did it. Bit of revenge for those probes. Marine's going to come down. MaxPax still very active with his Stalkers. He gets a Marine, make it 2. Gets almost an SCV as well. Oh, no. Bad. Oh, MaxPax throws his Prism away. What did I talk about in those previous games, guys? Every single PvT, when MaxPax has control over the game, rather than stepping back and keeping his Prism alive for when it's more useful later, he just goes back in and throws it away. And this is every single PvT. If he learns to pull that Prism back and be a bit more careful with it, I don't know if he loses any PvT maps in these series. He's so good in the opening, but he just needs an ounce of chill. Keep 95% of the aggressive tendency, just an ounce of chill. Just learn that moment to pull back. If he keeps it alive and stops throwing his Warp Prism away, it's so much more frustrating for MarineLorD to deal with because Charge is ready. Then he doesn't need to leave these Stalkers here. They can pick off Marines and fall back, and you could drop 4 Zealots in the main right now, which he cannot deal with. Am I being very critical? Probably too critical, guys. Let's just cast the game. I think it's just really interesting because I think MaxPax is so close to the best aggressive PvT player. Maybe he's the best aggressive PvT player in Europe right now. And I think there's a few details that are still missing. So the fact that he's still beating the best, and I mean, Clem's the only guy who's pretty consistently beating him right now, that tells me that MaxPax is only a few small adjustments away from dominating PvT in Europe. I do think he's a little more effective than Showtime because his aggression just always finds weakness. Marines do find that main base. Ooh, picking off some probes. Oh, that's a good. I like that micro from MarineLorD. He just says, look, this is a one-way trip. Just trade him out. 12 workers. The power is Stim Marines. Who needs combat shields? Who needs anything else? This is why 8 Marines is a much more deadly drop than 4 Marauders. If you're finding an undefended mineral line, 4 Marauders cannot kill probes anywhere near that quickly. Good scan, cleans that up. And as the dust settles, let's look at the upgrade sitch. Looks like 1-1 is about to finish for Terran, whereas +1's only halfway done for Protoss. He's got 1 Colossus out, Viagra's halfway done. Charge, of course, has been done for ages. Only 4 gateways. It's probably the #1 problem. Oh no, he's up to 6 now. 2 gateways just warped in. So if you guys ever check the structures tab, you got to be careful, because if they're transforming from gateways into warp gates, they won't show up there until they are finished that transformation process. Stalkers, a few of them get caught here. This is a scary push, guys. 2 siege tanks, 8 marauders, 27 marines. The force field's a big part of MaxPax's army, though. Man, not having the prism there. Look at this. He's got nothing at home. And this is what I'm talking about, dude. That prism could force such a response. Another marine drop comes in. He's actually fighting the zealots, and he's doing a very good job. Yeah. Pull back the weak marines is one of the sickest micro moves you can do. Ooh, he gets a few marauders, does MaxPax, but he takes a few tank volleys on the back end of that. Oh, no. Oh, great force fields there. Traps gets 2 marauders. But dude, he's losing everything in his main. Oh my god, the marines are even going to kill a stalker potentially. The stalkers should be able to shut that down. Just 2 more shots. 1 more shot. Oh my god, the medevac gets out of there. Get out of there, boys. I think with these run-bys, MarineLorD should be clearly in the lead. 4th and 5th barracks on the way. He's got a great bio army. He's swapping into bio mine, a more mobile force. Just still has the 2 tanks as more of a defensive anchor. And behind it, DT Shrine goes down. MaxPax's favorite tech in the game. Colossus charge DT. And he loves to use those blink DTs to flank onto the army. I mean, we're really witnessing the rise of MaxPax over this last year. It's fascinating to watch. He does keep getting better and better, and I still don't feel he's as clean as the other guys, but he's I don't know, man. He always seems to find his opponent's weak spots, and it feels like he's very opportunistic. It's one of the few players where I look at how he's playing, and I'm like, yeah, there's set habits and things he does, but he's so opportunistic with what he commits to and when he commits to it. He's just like, if I think there's an opening here, I will look for it and I'll try to take that. He tries to get the Observer out of there. No way. Loses a Stalker and an Obs, gets a Widow Mine or 2. Bio trying to chase him across this map. We've got a Widow Mine drop coming in from behind this 3rd. Stalker warp in, anticipating though. Get out of there, MarineLorD. Youch. Well played there. A little bit of a slow response there from MarineLorD, but he's got a big push coming now. 15 Marauders, 29 Marines. Look at the army supply. He hasn't added 2-2. It's all about big bio, but this is a bigger open area. I don't think MaxPax can fight in the open. Those tanks sieging in the back line, they only cover to there, though. He's going to try and engage without the siege tanks. Is that going to be enough bio? Does get some big Colossus waves. He's pulling back now. Yeah, it feels like MarineLorD not quite finding the engage he wanted to, and the Colossus so good at shaving off bio, but he doesn't want to unsiege and move too far forward. 1 disruptor in there as well. Keep an eye on that shot. He's going to try and send a double drop, but that's right over the Nexus. Oh my god, this is so dangerous. Oh, but he scanned and saw the Stalkers were too far away to respond to it. He forces the recall. He sees the recall. Oh, he's going to come back. He's going to dive. He's going to dive on it. MarineLorD. Oh my god, I love that move. He forces half the army to recall and immediately just turns around and jumps on it. Very nice play by MarineLorD, just using the scans to check how MaxPax was reacting and baits him into an overreaction. And that's the downside of not having Stalkers in the main base. Now he's able to push on forward. I mean, this is still very scary Colossus damage, but the Vikings adding it. Stalkers and Immortal starting to crumble. Watch out for the ball. Good pullback. Widow Mine goes down, but so does a Zealot, and those Vikings getting damaged by the Stalkers. 1 goes down. The Colossus have done so much damage. 12 kills and 1, 6 on the other. DT's coming in now as well. Uh-oh. He gets a Colossus, but is this an overextension? MarineLorD pulls back from that disruptor shot. Another Viking goes down. It's a lot of DTs. He does take out a couple of them. He gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 DTs and a disruptor. And that there is going to be good game, I think. MarineLorD fighting back in this series despite a very scary start, honestly. A few moments of stalk on this micro for MaxPax here in the main, but I think honestly the Prism flying back in, still a huge one. MarineLorD, though, great scramble to survive. Remember, he had 1 tank when that push first arrived, maybe 7 Marines and a Raven, and there was like 6, 8 Stalkers in his face. That's a really shitty position. You guys see me on a daily basis get in that position and go, ah, what is happening? Ooh, okay, MarineLorD doing good. GG. Very nice. Tied up. We're going to game 5. All right, we're finding our way to game 5, and it's a big old lovely map for it. It's 2,000 atmos. This one's going to be decided in a duel to the death on the bottom of the ocean floor. In the top right, it's TCAP's MarineLorD. Coca Authentic Pepite. And Storm's MaxPax, an actual pro team. No, I mean, TCAP's a real pro team as well. I love Coca. Coca's my fave. Coca's actually the funnest guy. So MaxPax is going for a Gate Scout. So pretty conservative play game 5 so far. Looks like he just wants to make sure he doesn't die to anything. And I just want to reiterate that I'm being very critical of the players because I'm like, oh, I want him to do this thing and make this adjustment. It's much harder for a player who's managing 300, 400, 500 actions a minute. Let's say 250, 200. Let's say 150 conscious decisions a minute, something like that. I don't know. Maybe I don't know if that's the right way of putting it. Conscious decision, because they're not really. A lot of it's kind of layered in. There's so much feeling the game out and constantly adapting and adjusting and all that sort of stuff. And these guys are gods of the game. They are so freaking good. And I really think MarineLorD is a very clever player. Build order wise, I do think that he does need to spend a bit more time getting in his opponent's head, though. And what I mean by that, because he's very good at just mixing up tricky builds, it just feels like I haven't seen him do the absolute next level mindfuckery that he does in TvT sometimes. Like, he's so good at picking his builds versus Clem, where I feel like he's inside Clem's head when he's playing Clem. Picks really good openings. Even when Clem beats him, I'm like, dude, the openings were great. Clem was just a bit better as the game played out. I think MarineLorD's very, very good at picking his TVZ openings as well. So I think backdoor psychologist, is he maybe kind of going, Protoss too easy, dumb race, and therefore not thinking about it from their point of view? I think that's a bit of a stretch. I do think, though, MaxPax is falling into a comfortable habit of how he's playing this matchup right now, and 4-Gate Blink is a very solid build because it's exceptionally safe and then exceptionally aggressive. And I do think MarineLorD did a much better job in that last game with the Widow Mine drop, where he spotted there was no third, and he was very patient with the Widow Mines, and he didn't throw it away. I think it's okay if you play it that way. I think the worst case scenario is if you go for a Widow Mine or a Hellion drop and then you just lose all the units. Because the Protoss basically is like, I'm making an abundance of Stalkers, so I've got extra units to shut you down. And the moment I shut that down, I'm going across the map to counterattack you really hard. And you've wasted a lot of factory, starport production time building units that are now dead and didn't achieve a lot of economic damage either. So I do think it's interesting to kind of see how that goes. Now, it would be really cool for MaxPax to just do a 2-gate third Nexus. 2-gate Robo, Blink, just nice greedy third base, because he hasn't done it at all. That being said, MarineLorD's going reactor factory again. Now, there's no Adept here, so he doesn't know that the factory is on the reactor. Normally, this is why you go Adept first, so you can know about that. Now, look at this. Hellion Marine is going to chum out, and he's like, hello, dickhead. You want to fight? He's going to body block. Warcraft 3! Warcraft 3! The Adept is going to add a bit of damage, but that Stalker gets surrounded down. A Hellion does go down for it, floating off to the surface, but he does shade the Adept out of there. At least that's a trade for MaxPax, but a Stalker for a Hellion is obviously a completely fine trade for the Terran, especially since he just swaps his focus now and says, that's fine, we're just going to go Cloak, Banshees, Tanks, Marines. Now, he could play this as a big 2-base push, bit of Banshee harassment, and then do a big Marine tank bunker push on the third. Or he could just do a bit of Banshee harassment, threaten the push, and just have a quick third command center building behind it, or even building on location. We'll see how he goes for it. For now, once again, MaxPax does the exact same thing he's been doing every game. And this is what I'm talking about, guys. Terran players need to get back to the build order path, go back to the school of TY. I think the problem everyone's having is TY is not playing broadcast matches right now. He's playing, like, everyone needs TY to teach everyone TVP. TY has been the biggest influence in the Terran vs. Protoss meta in the last 4 or 5 years. And because we don't get to see many of his matches lately, I don't know, is he gone military or is he retired? I don't know why. I just haven't seen any TY. Maybe he lost in qualifiers or something. Whatever the case is, I'm pretty sure TY would just drop a quick third CC versus this, because he has such a good kind of strategic bird's eye view of the matchup. Apparently, he has actually gone to the military now. God damn, that sucks. Makes me so sad. We need that's like losing 50% of the IQ of the Terran pro gamer race, guys. And one player going to the military, the IQ of Terran just dropped 50%. That's so sad. And that's not because Terran players are dumb. It's because he's such a galaxy brain player. These good interceptions. This is really bad for MarineLorD, guys. This is really bad. You do not want to be walking to those Stalkers. Where the heck are those Banshees, guys? They're just moving out now. Oh, no. Oh, this is not good for MarineLorD. Showing his Banshees so early. Misses out any opportunity for harassment damage. I mean, where's his third CC? Okay, it's going down. It's a 5-minute third, though. It's just not that quick. I mean, let's remember, MaxPax is just going to headbutt Stalkers into him like he does every game. There's no bunker in the high ground. I like that depot. That blocks it. He needs to siege a tank on the high ground right now. That one's very exposed. I don't know. I think I would have put the tank up there personally. I would have been like mega conservative with it. Okay, he's got to get back to the natural. Oh, he's not ready to repair. Oh, it's such a bummer. Great tank positioning though. He's got another Banshee. Those Banshees going across the map. Stalkers and Observers ready. MaxPax looks like he's actually going to go a quicker third this game, so we will transition out of it. We will see a much longer game. And he puts the probe behind the base. MarineLorD's like, okay, dickhead. He kills it, and now he's got to be very cautious. Those Stalkers should wait up here and then blink on him only as he comes in. Yep. Notice he's keeping the Stalkers. It's an ambush. It's an ambush there, guys, but he's harassing at the same time. The Stalkers blink down. They get a little bit of damage. Banshees pull back. Good micro by MarineLorD. Banshee's a very high damage unit, so there's not much opportunity to harass. And let's see if MaxPax makes that adjustment and keeps that Prism alive this game. I think in this scenario, it's a no-brainer for him to keep it alive for a few more minutes. But I really want to see him babysit it, even when he swaps it out for a charge zealot drop, which he'll do in about a minute's time. Wow. The Terran IQ dropped from 20 to 10. That's really harsh, says chat. Oh, no. I think that observer should just right-click on the Banshees, by the way, guys, because then it just follows them. And that way you get to see when they come in. Yeah, he's going to do it now, MaxPax. So you see he just clicks it. You can see the observer has right-clicked on the Banshee, so it'll just follow it wherever it goes. Stalker's controlling out front. Prism on the right side right now. Who's ahead here, guys? Well, economy-wise, worker versus worker looks totally fine for Terran. His production's a little slow, though. Stim's only halfway done, hasn't started shields. He's only got one engineering base, so he's going to be playing a slower upgrade style. But he's got that second reactor building, so lots more MarineLorD production. Oh, good Stalker trade. Gets a few Marines, gets out of there. Prism on the right. Did he just F2 that? Is that what's happening? Did he just F2 his... Why was his Prism flying into the army? You guys see what I'm talking about? There is something weird on a subconscious level with the way MaxPax uses his Warp Prism that results in it constantly flying into army. Not again! No! Why? Every single time! Why? Okay, my ranting is justified. I don't care how big of a MaxPax fan you guys are. At this point, he cannot keep his Warp Prism alive, can he? He just cannot. He is a Warp Prism hater. Dude, I don't know if he's got some government contract. Does his uncle own the Warp Prism company and every Warp Prism he has to rebuild? But honestly, stop throwing them away. He could have just turned that around and ran away and rotated it to the left or used it later on. Now he throws it away. He gives up that threat. Does get 7 SCVs, which is kind of insane. That probably shouldn't have happened. That's some bad micro from MarineLorD. Yeah, that's actually insane. That should not have been so many units. The Stalker's being very annoying here. There's 2 Colossus on the map. He can come forward and intercept this. He's got 2 sentries with 4 force fields, soon to be 6 in between them, assuming he doesn't pop a Guardian Shield. And he jumps on that army, but Stalkers need to disengage. Oh, Stalkers are in trouble. That was not a good blink. They didn't keep moving straight away. He's got to now blink to the left, blink to the left, blink to the left. Oh, blink, blink, ow. Lots of Stalkers going down. He's going to go for the tanks, though. They're a bit exposed. The Zealots, if they can get on them, he's got to micro the Zealots. Shift-click the Zealots on the tanks. Shift-click the Zealots on the tanks, buddy. A little bit slow. You can see MaxPax pulled the Zealots back, then shift-click them, so he takes a few unnecessary tank shots. At the end of the day, though, the Colossus roasts the Marine Marauder. MarineLorD a bit overextended there, took a bad fight, and he does end up getting hammered back. And I think that's a probably game-winning situation there now for him. Now, there's no reason to ever move these Banshees, but what this does is this situation is actually... You'd say it's bad for Protoss, right? That's your instinct. 6 Stalkers, 2 Banshees. Obviously, the Stalkers, more supply, more money, and an Observer being pinned there. The problem is that's actually a fantastic trade for Protoss, and I'll tell you why. By doing that, you're taking away the most powerful tool Terran has at its arsenal. I'm not even kidding. As much as I'm saying this kind of like it's a joke, I'm not joking right now. You can't use F2. Without F2, Terran has to use control groups, which is way harder than with the other races. It's fucking annoying. If he F2s, those Banshees are immediately going to fly to their death. It's so annoying. So MarineLorD having a micro a little bit differently to how he normally would to gather up his army in a different manner. He keeps having to go back to his rally point. So that's actually, it's in a way, it makes things awkward for MarineLorD because normally you want to be F2ing your units to the front. Oh, great DT usage, but good response from MarineLorD. Oh no. Disruptor shot did get dodged. He's going to pull the boys. Oh, he gets a Colossus. He gets 1. He gets 2. Good pullback. Good pullback. He lost a lot of units there. Did MarineLorD, but he gets 2 Colossus. This army now looking bare. It's looking very bare. Watch out. Watch out. Oh, the flanking bull. MaxPax unzips, drops Trow, and just throws one flying, scrapes across the side of MarineLorD's Marauders' faces. And 4 Marauders and a mine, I think it was, sorry, for 1 disruptor shot. That was brutal, dude. Meanwhile, it looks like his Banshees just F2'd finally. They finally F2'd, yeah. In the chaos of that, He did F2, which means these Stalkers can now rejoin at the front. Marauder goes down, Bio coming forward. The way MaxPax is just kiting him into the splash damage, because whenever you chase this army, you clump up for Disruptor, you clump up for Colossus Splash. MarineLorD's trying to hunt him down, but his army's too small. He can't take this fight. MarineLorD is just being worn down too much. After that first fight, clearing the tanks, I mean, MaxPax just playing this so well, and MarineLorD unable to deal with this fighting Protoss style. And I do think this is the hardest Protoss style for me personally to play against, and it looks like for MarineLorD as well. The fighting style of Protoss, I would actually rather play against a Showtime than a MaxPax, because Showtime, even though he's so good in a long game, he's a bit more predictable. Oh, the DT FAP field. That, of course, the thing that does let Protoss players get a little bit randy, hands down their pants when they get that one. That's the thing. You're like, oh no, these Marauders are going to escape. Oh wait, your DTs just by chance happen to get a force field there, and having a little bit of fun there. Stalker, Colossus, Immortal. One Immortal with that 9 kills, one Colossus with 13, and Disruptor with 4. Another Colossus rallies in. MarineLorD's just too far behind the curve, and once again, it looks like in this semi-finals here of this Wardy Roddy Replacement Cup, MaxPax will win out. No GG there in the final game. And what the hell went on there? What went on in this game? Because I thought things were going okay for MarineLorD, despite my early criticisms of the fact that no one's really countering the 4-gate blink build the way I'd like to do it. It's interesting. So I think this is a real incentive for me to get a pro Terran, whether MarineLorD or someone else on stream one day, and we can, I think, talk about this, because I really want to discuss the openings people are using, and how I think theoretically a quick third CC is such a counter to 4-gate blink. Just make extra tanks. I don't think this is a very flexible style for Protoss. I think 4-gate blink's natural weakness is a quick third CC into just a 5-rax bio tank medevac push, but off 3 base with just the third minerals, no gases required. And you play it to macro, but I think that push alone is so scary. He needs Ravens to disable the Colossus. Oh, not really. It's a cute maneuver. It could work, having a Raven, but you definitely don't need it. That's a cute one. I think early on this push just went terribly for MarineLorD. So I think this push out was a really bad idea for him. I think he was kind of hoping that MaxPax would sit at home defensive, waiting for a Widowmine drop to come in. So why was MaxPax across the map so early? And is this something that he could have expected? Let's watch this from MaxPax's vision. So MaxPax has a probe on the left. He has an adept there. He's seen a Hellion. His adept sees that it's like Marine on reactor. That adept does throw away. That adept sees that it's tank Banshee. I don't know if he did that on purpose or not, but I've talked about this a lot, guys. And I'm going to talk about it one more time. So check this out. There's something I talk about, which is lazy building placement and giving away information. So MarineLorD's done it multiple times this series where he's built his extra buildings within range of an Adept Shade. Now, what's funny is the Adept Shade went to the top, so it didn't see the factory until it finished, but if it went to here, it would have seen the factory. That's giving away information. Oh, there's a factory on a tech lab building tanks. I've got to be worried about a fast Marine tank push. This is a huge mistake to build your production here. But not only that, this starport positioning is incredibly lazy. And it's the same when people go 3-racks and build their buildings here. And I've been talking about this for over a month now. How most Terrans, if you want to... Like the fundamental basis of all Terran versus Protoss for the longest time is do not foreshadow what you're doing. Keep it unpredictable so your opponent cannot completely counter what you're doing. If the Protoss knows exactly what you're doing, unless you're just turtling, you will lose against an equally skilled opponent. If you let him scout what you're doing at all stages and you make it very clear and obvious what you're doing. So this is why people do 3-racks, and then you don't know, am I getting Widowmine dropped, am I getting Hellion dropped, or am I getting 3-racks? You don't know as the Protoss. It's really hard, especially with this build, which has no scouting. No scouting until the Prism. Until his Stalker Prism goes across the map at 5 minutes. He has no information. He has no idea what's going on. So build your buildings here or here. Do not build them within vision. This factory is criminal because it is in range of an Adept Shade if it stands there. Okay, let's watch this vision. Watch this scouting from MaxPax. This wins MaxPax the game. I mean, he might have already been planning to come across the map, but this 100% works. Yeah, he even sees the factory there. He could probably see the tech lab with the shade if he moves it there, maybe barely. But to put this here, he then sees, he lets the shade finish. Now, whether that's on purpose or not, I don't know. But it bloody well works out. Because he sees Cloak. We go to his vision. He sees Cloak. Now he knows it's Cloaked Banshees. No surprise. That instantly weakens that massively. He knows it's tanks, which means he knows there's a Marine tank push coming. This is a disaster. You always, don't show what you're doing. Now, obviously, for MarineLorD, he opened 2 Hellions early, and he kind of skirmished, and he thought he was getting map control. So he thought, well, why bother floating the factory back from there over here? Let's put it here. Is it worth it? It loses you money. It does lose you money, but, or production time, I should say, by doing that. But I think in general, remember earlier today, we also saw MarineLorD with a factory right there get spotted by an Adept Shade. So he's been, and his Widow Mine's just showing up at the front. So he's been foreshadowing what he's doing far too much. And it's a big problem. It's a really, really big problem. To be fair, the building positioning can't be much different, or you weaken yourself to 4-gate blink. So that's a very good point. You could argue that you need the buildings to be in a certain position to create a wall. I would argue that actually having a building here is more important, or here. Even just a building there is fine. And I think it's fine. I think you can defend without the buildings being in the ideal position, to be honest. I think it's more important to keep your opponent guessing. I would always say that's way more important. But what happens here is then the Stalkers know 100% they don't have to worry about a Widow Mine drop or anything else. And this is a disaster. You lose 1 Marine, 2 Marine, 3 Marine, 4 Marine, 5 Marine. And then the Banshees have to use their energy here, and they just can't be used as harassment units. And it's just the fact that this command center is so late. So, like I was talking about, if you go a quicker third command center, you're happy to just chill. You don't need to attack into the Protoss. So, I guess what I'm looking at here is that MaxPax one-tricked this series and was able to win with it. And I don't know if my solutions are perfect. I'm sure there's other problems MarineLorD and other Terrans would point out. And like Chats just pointed out, maybe you need your buildings to be placed to shield your siege tank there so it can't just get blinked on top of, right? There's things like that you do need to worry about for sure. But I think if we look at this just on a fundamental level, he's gone 4-gate blink every game in this series and he's gotten away with it. That's not something you should be able to get. That's inherently not the most flexible build order. It is good, but I do think a quick third CC would punish this. I've been talking about it for a while, and if you are going to mix in the more aggressive builds, you need to be more secretive with them. Widow Mine drops, tank Marine pushes with Banshees, all this sort of stuff. I do think it's a little more effective with this build if you send 1 Banshee across, and then you come straight in as soon as Cloak's done. Unfortunately for him, MaxPax, of course, saw the starport earlier, so he dropped shield battery in each base. Yeah. So there was no real option there. Let's go and look at the push. So one last bit of analysis before we finish this one up, guys. Because we're going to call this the MaxPax Prism, by the way, guys. This is actually the MaxPax Prism right now. It's the Maxi Taxi. That's what we're calling this. This is the drunk driving Maxi Taxi is what we're going to call the Warp Prism in PvT, controlled by MaxPax. So anytime I see a Warp Prism just flying to its death, that's a Maxi Taxi, okay? And this one was one of the less criminal ones in that he just wasn't looking when the Vikings started shooting it. He's just a little slow to react. He needed to turn around a little quicker. But that's a Maxi Taxi. Got a few SCVs there. So yeah, good trades with the Zealots, even though he loses the Prism, which sucks. So at this point in the game, guys, economically it's great for MarineLorD. Upgrades are very similar though, and there is a 4th Nexus on the way. So if MaxPax can defend this push, he can then add tech and go to the next level. MarineLorD's a little supply blocked as he's moving out. He's on a kind of constant tank production army, or 4 tanks into this reactor. So I guess he wants to exert pressure and just keep Protoss guessing. But yeah, you'll notice that MaxPax has budget map control, which he's done really well. So what's budget map control? Budget map control is when you don't have many observers. He's only got 1, and it's pinned here. But he has a pylon, a probe, and a squad of stalkers. Really good budget map control. In hindsight, how well defended is he against drops? Well, he has 18 stalkers. So I think he's pretty well defended. He's got 10 there and 6 back here. Could you multi-drop? Potentially. I do think it's always a little awkward in this scenario. Because, I mean, this is a pretty good push. And this is the sort of push I said is the weakness of a 4-gate blink opening. But where's the medevacs? So his medevacs are very late because he was building Banshees. And I just think it could be hitting a lot earlier. It's already past 9 minutes because remember the third CC was so late. Which meant the extra barracks, the income explosion was so late. So I kind of feel like, you know, you could probably be hitting this a minute earlier with an earlier third CC. Obviously, that's a completely different strategic line. Protoss invests less in holding your push. They might have a quicker third base. It changes things, but I do think Terran tends to come out ahead if you take the quicker third CC. Now, he chases a little far here, does MarineLorD. And that does cost him. I do like the scan. That could have scared MaxPax away. But I think we can notice there was just a huge gap in production, actually. Yeah, this is kind of a pig loss. So, I think this is a little bit of a pig loss. I think macro mistakes actually cost MarineLorD this push. So let's monitor his production. So notice that barracks isn't building, guys. There we go. Okay, that's better. He's adding it. But I do think this the 133 supply block hurts him pretty bad. Okay, cool. So he builds these units here. He's hit the supply block essentially at 8:34 is when his production starts getting halted. 3 barracks not building. 8:34. I think it was absolutely worth dropping a supply drop as he hits 50 energy at this point. Just drop a supply drop. Because this push, he's committing to this push a lot. So 8:34. So he misses. What happened to the depots? Why are they taking so long, man? I guess we accidentally went to normal speed. 8:34 to 8:59 before the bioproduction starts up again. So that's a big 25-second gap in bioproduction, guys. Which means that he's just missing a few extra Marines and Marauders rallying in this whole time. You know? That's an extra like 6 Marines rallying down here, an extra 3 Marauders with another 3 coming right behind it. That does make a difference. That does make a difference. Now, obviously, he did chase a bit too far here. He thought MaxPax would stay back, and that turned out to be a miscall. Because then he has to stim again. And with his medevac so late, his bio's so wounded. And now he's attacking in a clump, and his Marines take the brunt of the Colossus damage, which is really bad. So this fight just ended up being really bad, and the lack of production. Where's that extra Marine Marauder? Think about it, guys. If he was rallying to the fight, and he didn't hit the supply block, that could have been like 8 more Marauders and 10 more Marines. Or 6 more Marauders and 10 Marines rallying in. Imagine if that came in during this fight. He might have killed the Colossus and won the game there. It's kind of wild when you look at those small little details, but that supply block really cost MarineLorD. And I think it was a really good call for MaxPax to take that fight. And this is the problem with fighting a player like MaxPax. He's happy to take a dangerous fight in the middle of the map like that, where other players aren't. Why? Skips the second forge, skips the second robo, doesn't probe his 4th base up. He's happy to make a big army off 60 probes. It's a very Korean style of PvT. He's always ready to throw down. If you give him the opportunity to take a good fight, he will mess you up. MaxPax with a fantastic fight closes out the series 3-2. GG, well played.